What if the gods you worshipped demanded not just your devotion, but your very life? Imagine a world where the sun itself hungered for blood, and the fate of humanity rested on the shoulders of divine beings whose motives were as mysterious as they were terrifying. This is the world of the Aztecs, a civilization steeped in myths so enigmatic, so haunting, that even centuries later, they defy explanation. From the feathered serpent Quetzalcoatl to the bloodthirsty war god Huitzilopochtli, the Aztec pantheon is a labyrinth of gods, each with their own dark secrets and cosmic roles. Today, we're diving deep into 30 of these myth stories that shaped an empire, influenced its rituals, and continue to baffle historians and mythologists alike. Why did the Aztecs believe the sun needed human sacrifice to rise each day? What hidden truths lie behind the smoking mirror of Tezcatlipoca? And how did these myths shape the Aztecs' understanding of life, death, and the universe? By the end of this video, you'll uncover the mysteries of these ancient gods and the myths that still echo through history. So, are you ready to step into the world of the Aztecs, where gods walked among mortals and the line between myth and reality blurred? Let's begin. Now, let's turn our attention to one of the most fascinating figures in Aztec mythology, Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent god. Known as the bringer of knowledge, the patron of arts, and the god of wind and learning, Quetzalcoatl was revered as a benevolent deity who shaped the world and guided humanity. But his story takes a dramatic turn with the prophecy of his return, a prophecy that would forever alter the course of Aztec history. According to legend, Quetzalcoatl was forced to leave his people after a series of conflicts with other gods, particularly his rival Tezcatlipoca. Before departing, he promised to return one day, bringing with him a new era of peace and prosperity. This promise became deeply ingrained in Aztec culture, shaping their worldview and even their political decisions. The myth of Quetzalcoatl's return took on a haunting significance when the Spanish conquistadors arrived in the early 16th century. The Aztecs, led by their emperor Moctezuma, were initially unsure how to interpret the arrival of these strange, pale-skinned men. Some believed Hernan Cortés and his men might be the fulfillment of Quetzalcoatl's prophecy, as the god was said to have fair skin and a beard. This belief, combined with the Spaniards' advanced weaponry and horses, sowed confusion and hesitation among the Aztecs, ultimately contributing to their downfall. The myth of Quetzalcoatl's return, once a source of hope, became a tragic irony that underscored the collision of two worlds. But why did this myth hold such power over the Aztecs? Quetzalcoatl wasn't just a god, he was a symbol of renewal and transformation. His departure and promised return mirrored the cycles of life, death, and rebirth that were central to Aztec cosmology. The prophecy also reflected the Aztecs' deep sense of impermanence, a belief that even the gods were subject to change and that the world itself was fragile. This myth, with its layers of meaning, offers a window into the Aztec psyche, revealing their hopes, fears, and the profound ways their gods shaped their understanding of the world. As we move forward, we'll explore how other myths, like the bloodthirsty nature of Huitzilopochtli, further illustrate the complex relationship between the Aztecs and their gods. But for now, the story of Quetzalcoatl reminds us that myths are more than just stories. They are mirrors reflecting the beliefs, struggles, and aspirations of the people who tell them. Now, shifting our focus to another towering figure in Aztec mythology, we encounter Huitzilopochtli, the god of war and the sun. Unlike the benevolent Quetzalcoatl, Huitzilopochtli was a fierce and demanding deity, embodying the relentless energy of the sun and the brutal realities of warfare. His name, which translates to hummingbird of the south, might sound delicate, but his nature was anything but. Huitzilopochtli was a god who thrived on conflict and required constant nourishment to sustain his strength, a nourishment that came in the form of human blood. According to Aztec belief, Huitzilopochtli was born under extraordinary circumstances. His mother, Tlaloc, the earth goddess, became pregnant after a ball of feathers fell from the sky and touched her. This miraculous conception angered her other children, who plotted to kill her out of shame. But as they approached, Huitzilopochtli sprang from her womb fully armed, ready to defend his mother. In a dramatic battle, he defeated his siblings, establishing himself as a protector and a warrior. This myth not only highlights his role as a defender, but also sets the stage for his insatiable need for sacrifice. The Aztecs believed that Huitzilopochtli required human blood to continue his daily battle against the forces of darkness. Every sunrise was seen as a victory, but it came at a cost. To ensure the sun would rise again, the Aztecs performed elaborate rituals of human sacrifice, often capturing prisoners of war specifically for this purpose. These sacrifices were not acts of cruelty but acts of necessity, deeply rooted in their understanding of the cosmos. Without Huitzilopochtli's strength, the sun would fail to rise, plunging the world into eternal darkness. This myth profoundly shaped Aztec society, influencing everything from their military strategies to their religious practices. War was not just a means of expansion but a sacred duty, a way to secure captives for sacrifice and maintain cosmic balance. The great temple of Tenochtitlan, dedicated to both Huitzilopochtli and Tlaloc, the rain god, stood as a testament to this belief. Its towering structure was the site of countless sacrifices, a grim reminder of the price the Aztecs were willing to pay to keep their world intact. But what does this myth reveal about the Aztec worldview? At its core, the story of Huitzilopochtli reflects the Aztecs' understanding of life as a fragile, cyclical struggle. The sun's daily journey across the sky was not guaranteed. It was a battle that required constant reinforcement. This belief in the precariousness of existence permeated every aspect of their culture, from their rituals to their art. Huitzilopochtli's thirst for blood was not just a demand but a symbol of the sacrifices necessary to sustain life itself. As we continue to explore the myths of the Aztec gods, we'll see how each deity, like Huitzilopochtli, offers a unique lens into the values and fears of this ancient civilization. But for now, the story of the sun god reminds us that the Aztecs saw the world as a place of constant struggle, where even the gods required mortal intervention to maintain order. Now let's journey into the heart of Aztec cosmology with the creation myth of the five suns. This story is not just a tale of how the world came to be, it's a profound reflection of the Aztec belief in cycles of destruction and renewal. According to their mythology, the universe has gone through 5 distinct eras, each governed by a different sun. These eras were not infinite, they ended in catastrophe, only to give birth to a new world. This cyclical view of time reveals how the Aztecs understood existence as a series of trials and rebirths, where each sun symbolized both creation and destruction. The first sun, known as Nahuatl or 4 Jaguar, was a time when giants roamed the earth. This era ended when jaguars, representing the forces of darkness, devoured the sun and destroyed the world. The Aztecs saw this as a reminder of nature's unpredictability and the fragility of life. The second sun, Nahuatl or 4 Wind, was marked by powerful hurricanes that swept across the land, scattering humanity and leaving only monkeys behind. This era symbolized the destructive power of wind, a force that could reshape the world in an instant. The third sun, Nahuatl or 4 Rain, was a time of fire and volcanic eruptions. This era ended when a rain of fire consumed the earth, turning everything to ash. The Aztecs believed this sun represented the duality of fire, both a source of warmth and a bringer of devastation. The fourth sun, Nahuatl or 4 Water, was an age dominated by floods. This era ended when the world was submerged in water, leaving only fish to survive. Water, essential for life, also held the power to destroy, reflecting the Aztecs' deep respect for its dual nature. Finally, we come to the fifth sun, Nahuatl or 4 Movement. the era in which the Aztecs believed they were living. This sun was created when the gods sacrificed themselves to set the world in motion. According to the myth, the gods gathered at Teotihuacan and threw themselves into a sacred fire, giving birth to the sun and moon. This act of divine sacrifice was seen as the ultimate act of creation, but it also carried a warning. The Aztecs believed this sun would eventually end in earthquakes, a reminder that even their world was temporary and subject to the forces of nature. The myth of the five suns is more than a creation story, it's a window into the Aztec worldview. Each sun represents a different aspect of the natural world, from jaguars to wind, fire, water, and movement. These elements were not just forces of nature but symbols of the gods' power and the delicate balance of the cosmos. The Aztecs saw themselves as living in a precarious era, one that required constant vigilance and sacrifice to maintain. This belief shaped their rituals, their art, and their understanding of their place in the universe. As we move forward, we'll uncover more myths that reveal the intricate tapestry of Aztec beliefs. But for now, the story of the five suns reminds us that the Aztecs saw creation as a continuous cycle of destruction and renewal, where every end was also a beginning. Now, let's turn our attention to one of the most enigmatic figures in Aztec mythology, Tezcatlipoca, the god of destiny, sorcery, and the night. Known as the smoking mirror, Tezcatlipoca was a complex deity who embodied both creation and destruction, light and shadow. His name itself, smoking mirror, refers to the obsidian mirrors used by Aztec priests for divination, which were believed to reveal hidden truths and glimpses into the future. These mirrors, often depicted as emitting smoke, symbolized the unknown and the mysterious forces that shaped human fate. Tezcatlipoca's smoking mirror was more than just a tool for divination. It was a powerful symbol of his dual nature. On one hand, the mirror reflected the world as it was, revealing the truth behind illusions and deceit. On the other hand, the smoke that rose from it represented the uncertainty and unpredictability of life. For the Aztecs, Tezcatlipoca was a god who could see into the hearts of men, exposing their deepest fears and desires. This made him both revered and feared, as he held the power to shape destinies and bring about both fortune and ruin. The role of the smoking mirror in Aztec rituals was deeply tied to the concept of fate. Priests would use these mirrors to communicate with Tezcatlipoca, seeking guidance on matters of war, agriculture, and personal destiny. The act of gazing into the mirror was believed to open a portal to the divine, allowing the priests to interpret the will of the gods. However, this practice was not without its dangers. The Aztecs believed that those who looked too deeply into the mirror risked losing themselves to the chaos and darkness that Tezcatlipoca represented. Tezcatlipoca's connection to the unknown also extended to his role as a trickster god. He was often depicted as a shapeshifter, capable of taking on different forms to test the resolve of mortals. In one famous myth, Tezcatlipoca disguised himself as a humble fisherman to challenge the ruler of the Toltecs, ultimately leading to the downfall of their civilization. This story highlights his unpredictable nature and his ability to disrupt the established order, reminding the Aztecs that even the most powerful rulers were subject to the whims of the gods. The smoking mirror, then, serves as a powerful metaphor for the Aztec understanding of the universe. It represents the duality of existence, the interplay between light and darkness, order and chaos, certainty and mystery. For the Aztecs, life was not a straightforward path but a journey filled with unseen forces and hidden truths. Tezcatlipoca, with his smoking mirror, embodied this complexity, offering both insight and peril to those who sought his guidance. As we continue to explore the myths of the Aztec gods, Tezcatlipoca's story reminds us of the profound ways in which they understood the world. His smoking mirror was not just a tool for divination, but a symbol of the eternal struggle between the known and the unknown, a theme that resonates deeply in their mythology. Next, we'll delve into the myth of Tlaloc, the rain god, and the sacrifices made to ensure the life-giving rains that sustained their civilization. Now, shifting our focus to the life-giving forces of nature, we come to the myth of Tlaloc, the Aztec god of rain. In a civilization deeply rooted in agriculture, Tlaloc was one of the most revered deities, as his blessings were essential for the survival of crops and, by extension, the entire Aztec society. Known as the provider of rain, Tlaloc was both a benevolent and fearsome figure, embodying the delicate balance between abundance and disaster. Tlaloc's domain was the heavens, where he controlled the clouds and storms. The Aztecs believed that he resided in a sacred mountain called Tlalocan, a paradise filled with lush vegetation and eternal spring. However, Tlaloc's favor was not easily won. To ensure the rains came, the Aztecs performed elaborate rituals and sacrifices in his honor. These offerings were not just acts of devotion, but a desperate plea to avoid the devastating consequences of drought. One of the most striking aspects of Tlaloc's worship was the practice of child sacrifice. The Aztecs believed that the tears of children were particularly pleasing to Tlaloc, as they symbolized purity and innocence. During times of severe drought, children were chosen as offerings, often dressed in ceremonial attire and adorned with flowers. Their tears were seen as a way to invoke Tlaloc's mercy, encouraging him to release the rains. This practice, though harsh by modern standards, underscores the Aztecs' profound dependence on agriculture and their deep-seated fear of famine. Tlaloc's dual nature is also reflected in his depiction. He is often shown with goggle-like eyes and fangs, symbolizing his connection to both life-giving rain and destructive storms. The Aztecs understood that rain could bring fertility and growth, but it could also unleash floods and devastation. This duality made Tlaloc a god to be both revered and feared, as his moods directly influenced the fate of their civilization. The myth of Tlaloc also highlights the Aztecs' intricate relationship with the natural world. They saw themselves as part of a larger cosmic order, where the actions of humans and gods were deeply intertwined. By offering sacrifices to Tlaloc, they sought to maintain this balance, ensuring that the rains would come and their fields would flourish. This belief system reveals not only their reliance on agriculture, but also their profound respect for the forces of nature. As we reflect on the myth of Tlaloc, it becomes clear how deeply the Aztecs were connected to their environment. Their rituals and sacrifices were not just acts of worship, but a way to navigate the uncertainties of life in a world where survival depended on the whims of the gods. Next, we'll explore the legend of Tlaloc, the god of fertility and renewal, whose rituals involved a striking and symbolic act of transformation. Now, turning our attention to the transformative power of renewal, we encounter the myth of Tlaloc, the Aztec god of fertility and rebirth. Known as our Lord the Flayed One, Tlaloc's rituals were among the most striking and symbolic in Aztec mythology. His worship centered around the idea of shedding the old to make way for the new, a concept deeply tied to the cycles of life, death, and regeneration. Tlaloc was often depicted wearing the flayed skin of a sacrificial victim, a vivid and unsettling image that carried profound meaning. The act of flaying symbolized the removal of the outer layer, much like a snake shedding its skin, to reveal a fresh, renewed form beneath. This ritual was not merely an act of violence, but a powerful metaphor for transformation and renewal. The Aztecs believed that by offering the skin of a sacrificial victim to Tlaloc, they were participating in a cosmic process of rebirth, ensuring the fertility of the land and the continuation of life. The ceremonies dedicated to Tlaloc were elaborate and deeply symbolic. During the festival of Tezcatlipoca, which means the flaying of men, captives were sacrificed in his honor. After their hearts were offered to the gods, their skins were carefully removed and worn by priests, who would then perform rituals dressed in this gruesome attire. These priests, embodying Tlaloc himself, would dance and parade through the streets, symbolizing the god's presence and the renewal of life. The skins were worn for several days before being discarded, representing the shedding of the old and the emergence of the new. This practice of wearing flayed skin also had agricultural significance. The Aztecs saw a direct connection between the shedding of skin and the cycles of planting and harvest. Just as seeds must break open and shed their outer shells to sprout new life, so too did the flaying ritual symbolize the necessary death and renewal required for growth and abundance. Tlaloc, therefore, was not just a god of fertility but a deity who embodied the harsh yet essential processes of nature. The myth of Tlaloc also highlights the Aztecs' understanding of duality and balance. Life and death, decay and renewal were seen as inseparable parts of the same cycle. By honoring Tlaloc through these rituals, the Aztecs sought to maintain this balance, ensuring that the world continued to thrive. His worship reminds us of the profound ways in which the Aztecs viewed their relationship with the natural world, seeing themselves as active participants in the cosmic order. As we move forward, the story of Tlaloc invites us to reflect on the deeper meanings behind these rituals and their connection to the cycles of life. Next, we'll explore the myth of Quetzalcoatl, the earth goddess, and her miraculous pregnancy with Huitzilopochtli, a tale that delves into themes of motherhood, creation, and cosmic balance. Now, shifting our focus to the realm of creation and cosmic harmony, we encounter the myth of Quetzalcoatl, the earth goddess, and her extraordinary story of motherhood. Quetzalcoatl, whose name means serpent skirt, was a central figure in Aztec mythology, embodying both the nurturing and destructive aspects of the earth. Her tale is one of miraculous birth, divine intervention, and the delicate balance of cosmic forces. Quetzalcoatl's story begins with her role as a humble earth goddess, sweeping the temple grounds on Coatepec, the sacred serpent mountain. One day, as she performed her duties, a ball of feathers descended from the sky and landed in her lap. This divine encounter resulted in her miraculous pregnancy with Huitzilopochtli, the god of war and the sun. However, this unexpected event sparked outrage among her existing children, particularly her daughter Quetzalcoatl and her 400 sons, the Senson Huitznahua. They saw her pregnancy as a dishonor and plotted to kill her to restore their family's honor. As the siblings prepared to attack, Huitzilopochtli, still in the womb, spoke to Quetzalcoatl, assuring her of his protection. When the moment of confrontation arrived, Huitzilopochtli emerged fully grown and armed, ready to defend his mother. In a dramatic battle, he defeated Quetzalcoatl, dismembering her body and casting it down the mountain. Her head became the moon, while her brothers fled in fear, becoming the stars in the night sky. This act not only established Huitzilopochtli as a powerful deity, but also symbolized the triumph of order over chaos. The myth of Quetzalcoatl and Huitzilopochtli is rich with themes of motherhood and cosmic balance. Quetzalcoatl represents the earth itself, a fertile, life-giving, yet capable of immense destruction. Her miraculous pregnancy underscores the idea of creation emerging from the unexpected, while her role as a protector highlights the nurturing aspect of motherhood. Huitzilopochtli's birth and his subsequent actions reflect the Aztec belief in the necessity of conflict to maintain cosmic order. The defeat of Quetzalcoatl and the scattering of her brothers symbolize the establishment of the sun, moon, and stars, essential elements in the Aztec understanding of the universe. This myth also emphasizes the duality inherent in Aztec cosmology. Quetzalcoatl embodies both creation and destruction, life and death, while Huitzilopochtli represents the forces of war and renewal. Together, their story illustrates the interconnectedness of these opposing forces and the delicate balance required to sustain the world. The Aztecs saw this balance as vital to their existence, believing that the gods' actions directly influenced the natural and cosmic order. As we reflect on the myth of Quetzalcoatl, we are reminded of the profound ways in which the Aztecs viewed the world around them. Their stories were not just tales of gods and heroes, but intricate narratives that explained the cycles of life, the forces of nature, and the importance of harmony in the universe. Next, we'll delve into the enigma of Mictlantecutli, the god of the underworld, and the challenges faced by souls in Mictlan, exploring how this myth reflects Aztec beliefs about death and the afterlife. Now, as we journey deeper into the mysteries of Aztec mythology, we arrive at the shadowy realm of Mictlantecutli, the god of the underworld. Known as the Lord of the Land of the Dead, Mictlantecutli ruled over Mictlan, the lowest and most feared level of the Aztec afterlife. Unlike other cultures that envisioned a fiery hell or a paradise for the virtuous, the Aztecs saw Mictlan as a place of rest, but not without its trials. This myth offers a fascinating glimpse into how the Aztecs understood death, the afterlife, and the journey of the soul. Mictlantecutli was depicted as a skeletal figure, often adorned with owl feathers and a headdress of human bones, symbolizing his dominion over death. His realm, Mictlan, was not a place of punishment, but rather a neutral destination for most souls, regardless of their deeds in life. However, reaching Mictlan was no simple task. Souls had to endure a grueling 9-level journey, each stage presenting its own unique challenges. These included crossing a river of blood, navigating a desert of obsidian shards, and facing fierce winds that could tear the soul apart. Only those who successfully completed this arduous journey could find peace in Mictlan. The myth of Mictlantecutli also highlights the Aztec belief in the importance of proper burial rituals. It was believed that the dead required specific offerings and ceremonies to aid them on their journey. Without these, the soul might become lost or trapped, unable to reach Mictlan. This belief underscores the Aztecs' deep respect for the dead and their understanding of death as a natural, albeit challenging, part of life's cycle. Interestingly, Mictlantecutli's role extended beyond the underworld. He was also associated with the cycle of life and death, embodying the idea that death was necessary for renewal. In this sense, he was not merely a figure of fear, but also a symbol of balance. The Aztecs believed that the gods themselves required death to sustain life, a concept reflected in their rituals of human sacrifice. By offering blood and life to the gods, they ensured the continued existence of the world. The myth of Mictlantecutli and Mictlan reveals much about the Aztec worldview. Death was not an end but a transition, a journey that required courage and resilience. The challenges faced by souls in Mictlan mirrored the struggles of life, emphasizing the Aztec belief in perseverance and the importance of honoring the dead. This myth also reflects their understanding of the interconnectedness of life and death, where one could not exist without the other. As we leave the dark corridors of Mictlan behind, we turn our attention to the vibrant and often violent world of the Flower Wars, where the myth of Xochiquetzal, the goddess of beauty and love, takes center stage. Her story intertwines with these ritual battles, offering a striking contrast to the somber tones of the underworld and shedding light on the Aztec ideals of fertility, sacrifice, and divine favor. Now, shifting our gaze from the shadowy depths of the underworld, we step into a world of vibrant color and ritual, the realm of Xochiquetzal, the goddess of beauty, love, and fertility. Known as the precious flower, Xochiquetzal was a central figure in Aztec mythology, embodying the delicate balance between life's pleasures and its sacrifices. Her story is deeply intertwined with the Flower Wars, a unique and fascinating aspect of Aztec culture that combined warfare, spirituality, and the cycle of life. Xochiquetzal was revered not only for her beauty but also for her role in ensuring the fertility of the land and its people. She was often depicted adorned with flowers, symbolizing her connection to growth, renewal, and the natural world. However, her influence extended beyond the physical realm. Xochiquetzal was also associated with artistic creativity, weaving, and the pleasures of life, making her a beloved figure among both commoners and the elite. Yet, like many Aztec deities, her story carries a darker undertone, one that reveals the complex relationship between beauty, sacrifice, and survival. The Flower Wars, or Tezcatlipoca, were a series of ritual battles fought not for territorial gain or political power but for a far more profound purpose: to honor the gods and sustain the cycle of life. These wars were carefully orchestrated events, often arranged between rival city-states, where warriors would engage in combat with the primary goal of capturing enemies rather than killing them. These captives would later be offered as sacrifices to the gods, particularly to deities like Tezcatlipoca and Huitzilopochtli, who demanded blood to ensure the continued fertility of the earth and the survival of humanity. The connection between Tezcatlipoca and the Flower Wars lies in the symbolic exchange of life and death. While she represented beauty and love, her role in these rituals highlights the Aztec belief that such gifts came at a cost. The blood of sacrificial victims was seen as a necessary offering to nourish the gods and maintain the balance of the cosmos. In this way, the Flower Wars were not merely acts of violence but sacred ceremonies that reinforced the interconnectedness of life, death, and renewal. Tezcatlipoca's dual nature, embodying both the joys of life and the inevitability of sacrifice, reflects the Aztec understanding of the world as a place of constant flux. Beauty and love were celebrated, but they were also reminders of the fragility of existence and the need to honor the divine forces that sustained it. The Flower Wars, therefore, were not just military exercises but profound expressions of faith, where the act of sacrifice was seen as a sacred duty and a means of ensuring the prosperity of the community. As we explore the myth of Tezcatlipoca and the Flower Wars, we gain a deeper appreciation for the Aztec worldview, where even the most beautiful aspects of life were intertwined with the solemn realities of sacrifice. This myth invites us to consider the delicate balance between creation and destruction, pleasure and pain, and the ways in which these dualities shape our understanding of the world. With this in mind, we now turn to the next chapter of Aztec mythology, where the forces of nature take center stage. The myth of Tezcatlipoca, the wind god, reveals how the Aztecs understood the invisible yet powerful forces that shaped their world, offering yet another layer of insight into their rich and complex belief system. Now, as we leave the vibrant world of Tezcatlipoca and the Flower Wars behind, we are swept into the invisible yet omnipresent realm of Tezcatlipoca, the Aztec god of wind. Unlike the tangible beauty of flowers or the visceral intensity of ritual battles, Tezcatlipoca's domain is one of unseen power, a force that shaped the Aztec world in ways both subtle and profound. Tezcatlipoca, often depicted with a beak-like mask and swirling patterns representing the wind, was more than just a deity of breezes and storms. He was a fundamental force in Aztec cosmology, believed to clear the skies and prepare the way for rain, ensuring the fertility of the land. His breath was thought to carry life itself, dispersing seeds, pollinating plants, and even guiding the souls of the dead to the afterlife. In this way, Tezcatlipoca was not just a god of the wind but a vital link between the physical and spiritual worlds. One of the most striking aspects of Tezcatlipoca's myth is his connection to the creation of the world. According to Aztec belief, Tezcatlipoca played a crucial role in the birth of the fifth sun, the era in which the Aztecs believed they lived. After the gods gathered at Teotihuacan to create the new sun, Tezcatlipoca was tasked with blowing life into it, setting it in motion across the sky. This act not only established the cycle of day and night, but also underscored the Aztec understanding of wind as a life-giving force, essential for the continuation of existence. Tezcatlipoca's temples were uniquely designed to reflect his nature. Unlike the towering pyramids dedicated to other gods, Tezcatlipoca's shrines were often circular, with no sharp corners to obstruct the flow of wind. These structures were built to honor his power and to allow his presence to move freely, a testament to the Aztecs' deep reverence for the natural forces that governed their world. The myth of Tezcatlipoca also highlights the Aztec belief in the interconnectedness of all things. Just as the wind could bring life-giving rain, it could also unleash destruction in the form of hurricanes and storms. This duality reflects the Aztec worldview, where every force of nature had the potential for both creation and chaos. Quetzalcoatl, as the embodiment of the wind, was a reminder of this delicate balance, a deity who could nurture or devastate depending on his will. Through the story of Quetzalcoatl, we gain insight into how the Aztecs perceived the natural world not as a collection of random events, but as a carefully orchestrated system governed by divine forces. The wind, invisible yet ever-present, was a symbol of both mystery and power, a reminder that even the unseen could shape the course of life. As we move forward, we'll delve into another myth that further illustrates the Aztec understanding of nature's forces, the story of Tezcatlipoca, the water goddess, and her role in the great flood that marked the end of the fourth sun. This tale, like that of Quetzalcoatl, reveals the Aztecs' profound respect for the elements and their belief in the cyclical nature of existence. Shifting our focus from the invisible currents of Quetzalcoatl, we now turn to the life-giving yet destructive power of water, embodied by Tezcatlipoca, the Aztec goddess of rivers, lakes, and all flowing waters. Known as She of the Jade Skirt, Tezcatlipoca was both a nurturing and fearsome deity, representing the dual nature of water, its ability to sustain life and its potential to bring devastation. Her myth is deeply tied to one of the most dramatic events in Aztec cosmology, the Great Flood that marked the end of the fourth sun. According to Aztec belief, the world had gone through 4 previous eras or suns, each ending in catastrophic destruction. The fourth sun, ruled by Tezcatlipoca, came to an end when the goddess unleashed a massive flood that drowned the world. For 52 years, rain poured ceaselessly from the sky, submerging the earth and turning it into a vast, lifeless ocean. The flood swept away entire civilizations, leaving only a handful of survivors who transformed into fish to escape the deluge. This myth underscores the Aztec understanding of water as a force of both creation and destruction, capable of wiping the slate clean and paving the way for renewal. Tezcatlipoca's role in this myth is deeply symbolic. As the goddess of water, she was revered for her ability to nourish crops and sustain life, but she also embodied the unpredictable and often destructive power of rivers and storms. The Great Flood was not merely an act of annihilation, but a necessary step in the cycle of creation. By cleansing the world of its impurities, Tezcatlipoca prepared the earth for the birth of the fifth sun, the era in which the Aztecs believed they lived. This cyclical view of destruction and rebirth is a recurring theme in Aztec mythology, reflecting their belief in the interconnectedness of life and death, chaos and order. The symbolism of water in this myth extends beyond its physical properties. Water, in Aztec thought, was a conduit for transformation and purification. Just as rivers flow and change course, life itself was seen as a dynamic, ever-changing process. Tezcatlipoca's flood was not just a punishment but a form of renewal, washing away the old to make way for the new. This idea is echoed in Aztec rituals, where water was often used in ceremonies of purification and rebirth. Tezcatlipoca's temples, often built near bodies of water, were places of both worship and reflection. Offerings of jade, shells, and other precious items were made to honor her, acknowledging her power over life and death. These rituals highlight the Aztecs' deep respect for the natural world and their recognition of the delicate balance between human existence and the forces of nature. Through the myth of Tezcatlipoca and the Great Flood, we see how the Aztecs grappled with the dual nature of water, its capacity to give life and its potential to take it away. This story not only reveals their understanding of natural forces, but also their belief in the cyclical nature of existence, where destruction is always followed by renewal. As we continue our journey through Aztec mythology, we'll explore another tale that delves into the celestial realm, where the stars themselves hold secrets of creation and destiny. Now let's journey from the flowing waters of Chalchutlicu to the vast expanse of the night sky, where the stars themselves tell a story of divine power and celestial wonder. Here we encounter Mixcoatl, the Aztec god of hunting and the Milky Way, whose myth weaves together the earthly and the cosmic in a breathtaking tapestry of belief. Known as Cloud Serpent, Mixcoatl was not only a protector of hunters but also a celestial guide, his presence etched into the very fabric of the night sky. Mixcoatl's connection to the Milky Way is one of the most fascinating aspects of his myth. To the Aztecs, the Milky Way was not just a band of stars but a sacred pathway, a bridge between the earthly realm and the heavens. They believed that Mixcoatl, in his celestial form, created this luminous trail as he traveled across the sky, leaving behind a shimmering reminder of his divine journey. This cosmic road was seen as a conduit for souls, guiding them to their final resting place in the afterlife. For the Aztecs, the Milky Way was both a physical and spiritual landmark, a testament to the interconnectedness of the human and divine worlds. But Mixcoatl's story is not just about the stars. As the god of hunting, he was deeply tied to the survival and prosperity of the Aztec people. Hunting was more than a means of sustenance. It was a sacred act, a way of honoring the natural world and its cycles. Mixcoatl was revered as a provider, a deity who ensured that the hunt was successful and that the community thrived. His dual role as both a celestial and earthly god reflects the Aztec belief in the unity of all things, where the stars above and the earth below were part of the same cosmic order. One of the most intriguing aspects of Mixcoatl's myth is his association with fire. According to legend, he was the first to discover how to create fire by striking stones together, a gift that transformed human life and symbolized the spark of civilization. This act of creation further cements his role as a bridge between the divine and the mortal, bringing the power of the gods into the hands of humanity. Fire, like the Milky Way, became a symbol of connection, a force that illuminated the darkness and linked the earthly realm to the heavens. The rituals dedicated to Mixcoatl were as vibrant as his myth. During festivals in his honor, hunters would offer sacrifices and perform ceremonies to seek his favor. These rituals often included the symbolic reenactment of his celestial journey, with participants mimicking the movement of the stars to honor his role as a guide. Through these practices, the Aztecs sought to align themselves with the rhythms of the cosmos, drawing strength and wisdom from the divine patterns above. Mixcoatl's myth reminds us of the Aztecs' profound connection to the natural and celestial worlds. For them, the stars were not distant, impersonal lights but living entities imbued with meaning and purpose. The Milky Way, as Mixcoatl's creation, was a constant reminder of the divine presence in their lives, a celestial map that guided both their physical journeys and their spiritual quests. As we continue to explore the mysteries of Aztec mythology, we'll uncover even more stories that reveal the intricate ways in which the Aztecs saw the world, a world where gods, humans, and the cosmos were forever intertwined. Now, as we shift our gaze from the celestial wonders of Mixcoatl to the fertile fields of the Aztec world, we encounter Tezcatlipoca, the maize god, whose story is deeply rooted in the earth and the life it sustains. Maize, or corn, was not just a staple crop for the Aztecs, it was a sacred gift, a symbol of life, sustenance, and the very essence of their survival. Tezcatlipoca, whose name means maize deity, embodied this vital connection between the land and the people, making him one of the most revered figures in Aztec mythology. Tezcatlipoca's origins are as fascinating as they are symbolic. According to legend, he was born from the earth itself, emerging from the fertile soil as a manifestation of the life-giving power of maize. His story is often intertwined with that of Chichimequotl, the goddess of sustenance, who represented the nurturing aspect of agriculture. Together, they formed a divine partnership, ensuring the growth and abundance of crops that fed the Aztec civilization. This myth reflects the Aztecs' deep understanding of the cycles of nature and their dependence on the land for survival. The sacredness of maize in Aztec culture cannot be overstated. It was more than just food, it was a divine gift, a symbol of creation and renewal. The Aztecs believed that maize was a part of their very identity, with myths suggesting that humans were created from maize dough by the gods. This belief elevated maize to a spiritual level, making it central to their rituals, festivals, and daily life. Tezcatlipoca, as the embodiment of this sacred crop, was honored in countless ceremonies where offerings of maize were made to ensure a bountiful harvest. One of the most striking aspects of Tezcatlipoca's myth is his connection to sacrifice and rebirth. Just as maize seeds must be buried in the earth to sprout new life, Tezcatlipoca's story often involves themes of death and resurrection. In some versions of the myth, he descends into the underworld, only to return with the gift of maize for humanity. This cyclical journey mirrors the agricultural cycle, reinforcing the idea that life, death, and renewal are all part of a greater cosmic order. For the Aztecs, this myth was a powerful reminder of the interconnectedness of all things, where the divine, the natural, and the human worlds were inextricably linked. Rituals dedicated to Tezcatlipoca were vibrant and deeply symbolic. During the annual festival of Huitzilopochtli, the Aztecs would offer the first ears of maize to the gods, thanking them for their bounty and seeking their continued favor. These ceremonies often included dances, music, and the creation of elaborate maize-based offerings, all designed to honor Tezcatlipoca and ensure the fertility of the land. Through these practices, the Aztecs sought to maintain harmony with the natural world, recognizing that their survival depended on the goodwill of the gods. Tezcatlipoca's myth also highlights the Aztecs' profound respect for the earth and its resources. They understood that agriculture was not just a practical necessity but a sacred duty, a way of participating in the divine order of the universe. By honoring Tezcatlipoca, they acknowledged the delicate balance between human effort and divine intervention, a balance that was essential for their survival and prosperity. As we reflect on the story of Tezcatlipoca, we are reminded of the Aztecs' deep reverence for the natural world and their ability to find the sacred in the everyday. Maize, as both a physical and spiritual sustenance, was a testament to their ingenuity, resilience, and faith. And as we continue to explore the myths of the Aztec gods, we'll uncover even more stories that reveal the intricate ways in which they saw the world. A world where the divine was present in every grain of maize, every ray of sunlight, and every drop of rain. Now, as we turn our attention from the fertile fields of Tezcatlipoca to the enigmatic skies above, we encounter Huitzilopochtli, the obsidian butterfly goddess, a figure shrouded in mystery and duality. Known as the obsidian butterfly, Huitzilopochtli embodies both creation and destruction, a paradox that reflects the Aztecs' understanding of the delicate balance between life and death. Her name itself evokes her dual nature, Huitzili meaning obsidian, a sharp volcanic glass used in ritual sacrifices, and Papalotl meaning butterfly, a symbol of transformation and rebirth. Together, these elements paint a vivid picture of a goddess who is as fearsome as she is beautiful, as destructive as she is life-giving. Huitzilopochtli's origins are steeped in celestial lore. She is often depicted as a skeletal figure with butterfly wings made of obsidian, a striking image that ties her to both the heavens and the underworld. Some myths suggest she was one of the Tezcatlipoca star demons who threatened to devour the world during solar eclipses. Yet she was also revered as a protector, a guardian of the heavens who could ward off these very same demons. This duality made her a complex and multifaceted deity, one who could inspire both fear and reverence in equal measure. Her connection to warfare is particularly fascinating. Huitzilopochtli was often invoked by warriors seeking her favor in battle. Her obsidian wings symbolized the sharpness of their weapons and the precision of their strikes, while her butterfly form represented the fleeting nature of life and the inevitability of death. Warriors believed that by aligning themselves with Huitzilopochtli, they could harness her destructive power while also embracing the transformative aspect of their own mortality. In this way, she became a symbol of the warrior's journey, a path marked by both violence and spiritual growth, but Itzpapalotl's influence extended beyond the battlefield. She was also deeply connected to the stars, particularly those in the constellation we now know as Scorpius. The Aztecs saw these stars as a celestial representation of Itzpapalotl, her obsidian wings spread across the night sky. This connection to the stars reinforced her role as a liminal figure, one who existed between worlds, between the heavens and the earth, between life and death. Her presence in the night sky served as a reminder of the cyclical nature of existence, where creation and destruction are two sides of the same cosmic coin. Rituals dedicated to Itzpapalotl were as intricate as her mythology. During certain festivals, priests would don masks and costumes resembling her skeletal form, performing dances that mimicked the fluttering of butterfly wings. These ceremonies often involved offerings of obsidian blades, symbolizing both the sharpness of her power and the fragility of life. Through these rituals, the Aztecs sought to honor her dual nature, acknowledging the necessity of both creation and destruction in the natural order. Itzpapalotl's myth also highlights the Aztecs' profound understanding of the interconnectedness of all things. Just as the butterfly undergoes metamorphosis, transforming from a caterpillar into a creature of beauty, so too did the Aztecs believe in the transformative power of the divine. Itzpapalotl, with her obsidian wings and celestial ties, embodied this belief, serving as a bridge between the earthly and the divine, the mortal and the eternal. As we delve deeper into the mysteries of Itzpapalotl, we are reminded of the Aztecs' ability to find meaning in the contradictions of existence. Her story is a testament to their belief in the cyclical nature of life, where destruction paves the way for creation, and where even the most fearsome deities hold the promise of renewal. And as we continue to explore the myths of the Aztec gods, we'll uncover even more stories that reveal the intricate ways in which they saw the world. A world where the divine was present in every star, every blade of obsidian, and every fluttering butterfly wing. Shifting our gaze from the celestial wings of Itzpapalotl to the radiant glow of the morning sky, we now encounter Huitzilopochtli, the god of the morning star. Known as the Lord of the Dawn, Huitzilopochtli was closely associated with Venus, the brightest planet in the night sky, which the Aztecs saw as a powerful celestial force. His name, which translates to Lord of the House of Dawn, reflects his role as a herald of the sun, guiding the transition from night to day and symbolizing the eternal cycle of light overcoming darkness. Huitzilopochtli's connection to Venus is central to his myth. The Aztecs observed Venus with great reverence, noting its predictable cycles of appearance and disappearance. They believed that Venus, as the morning star, was a celestial guide for souls traveling through the underworld. Huitzilopochtli was seen as a divine beacon, illuminating the path for the dead as they journeyed to Mictlan, the Aztec underworld. This role made him a figure of both hope and solemnity, a reminder of the thin veil between life and death. The symbolism of Venus in Aztec mythology is rich and multifaceted. As the morning star, Venus was associated with renewal and rebirth, its appearance heralding the start of a new day. Yet, as the evening star, it was also linked to endings and transitions, marking the close of the day and the descent into night. This duality mirrored Huitzilopochtli's own nature. He was both a bringer of light and a guide through darkness, embodying the cyclical nature of existence that was so central to Aztec cosmology. Rituals honoring Huitzilopochtli often involved offerings of precious materials like jade and feathers, symbolizing the brilliance of the morning star. Priests would perform ceremonies at dawn, aligning their prayers with the rising of Venus to invoke his guidance and protection. These rituals underscored the Aztecs' belief in the interconnectedness of the celestial and the earthly, with Tlaloc serving as a bridge between the two realms. One of the most intriguing aspects of Tlaloc myth is his association with Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent god. In some traditions, Tlaloc is seen as an aspect of Quetzalcoatl, representing the god's celestial form. This connection highlights the fluidity of Aztec deities, who often embodied multiple roles and identities. Together, Tlaloc and Quetzalcoatl symbolized the union of the heavens and the earth, the divine and the mortal, reinforcing the Aztecs' belief in the harmony of the cosmos. The myth of Tlaloc also reflects the Aztecs' deep understanding of astronomy. They meticulously tracked the movements of Venus, using its cycles to create calendars and predict significant events. This knowledge was not just practical but deeply spiritual, as they believed that the stars and planets were manifestations of the gods themselves. Tlaloc, as the embodiment of Venus, was a living reminder of the divine order that governed their world. As we explore the story of Tlaloc, we are reminded of the Aztecs' profound reverence for the cosmos. His myth is a testament to their belief in the guiding power of the stars and the eternal cycles of life, death, and rebirth. And as we continue to uncover the mysteries of the Aztec gods, we'll find even more stories that reveal the intricate ways in which they saw the universe, a universe where the divine was as close as the morning star, shining brightly in the dawn sky. Now, as we turn our attention from the celestial realms to the earthbound, we encounter Mesoamerican, the goddess of Magi and Polk, whose story is steeped in themes of fertility, transformation, and the intoxicating power of life itself. Mesoamerican, often depicted as a youthful and radiant figure, was deeply revered by the Aztecs for her connection to the Magi plant, a vital source of sustenance and ritual significance in their culture. From this plant, the Aztecs extracted pulque, a fermented beverage that held both sacred and social importance, making Mesoamerican a central figure in their spiritual and daily lives. The myth of Mesoamerican begins with her as a celestial being, living among the stars with her grandmother, Tezcatlipoca, a fearsome deity associated with the darkness of the night sky. Mesoamerican's life took a dramatic turn when she encountered Quetzalcoatl, the wind god, who fell in love with her and convinced her to descend to the earth. Together, they transformed into a tree with two branches, symbolizing their union. However, their happiness was short-lived. Tezcatlipoca, enraged by Mesoamerican's departure, descended to earth and shattered the tree, killing Mesoamerican in the process. From her remains, the first Magi plant sprouted, embodying her spirit and giving rise to the sacred drink of pulque. This myth is rich with symbolism. The Magi plant, with its ability to thrive in harsh conditions, represents resilience and the life-giving power of the earth. Pulque, derived from the plant's sap, was more than just a beverage. It was a sacred elixir, believed to carry the essence of Mesoamerican herself. The Aztecs saw pulque as a gift from the gods, a source of nourishment and spiritual connection. It was consumed during religious ceremonies, festivals, and even in everyday life, blurring the lines between the sacred and the mundane. Mesoamerican's association with fertility extended beyond agriculture to human life. She was often invoked by women seeking to conceive, as her myth embodied the cycles of life, death, and rebirth. The transformation of her body into the Magi plant mirrored the Aztecs' belief in the regenerative power of nature, a theme that resonated deeply in their cosmology. Her story also highlights the duality of intoxication. Pulque was both a source of joy and a means of communing with the divine, reflecting the Aztecs' complex relationship with altered states of consciousness. Rituals honoring Mesoamerican were vibrant and celebratory, often involving music, dance, and the communal consumption of pulque. These gatherings were not just religious observances but also social events that strengthened community bonds. The Aztecs believed that by partaking in pulque, they were imbibing the essence of Mesoamerican, connecting them to her life-giving energy. This practice underscored their belief in the interconnectedness of all things, where the divine was present in every aspect of life, from the crops they cultivated to the drinks they shared. Mayahul's myth also reflects the Aztecs' deep respect for the natural world. The maguey plant was a cornerstone of their economy and culture, providing food, fiber, and medicine in addition to pulp. By venerating Mayahul, the Aztecs acknowledged their dependence on the earth and its cycles, a reminder of the delicate balance between humanity and nature. Her story is a testament to their ability to find the sacred in the everyday, transforming ordinary plants and beverages into symbols of divine power. As we delve into the legend of Mayahul, we uncover a narrative that intertwines the spiritual and the practical, the celestial and the earthly. Her myth is a celebration of life's vitality, a reminder of the transformative power of nature, and a reflection of the Aztecs' profound connection to the world around them. And as we continue to explore the mysteries of the Aztec gods, we'll find even more stories that reveal the intricate ways in which they saw the universe, a universe where the divine was as close as the earth beneath their feet and the drink in their hands. Now, shifting our focus from the life-giving energy of Mayahul, we step into the shadowy realm of the underworld, where Xolotl, the enigmatic twin of Quetzalcoatl, takes center stage. Known as the god of twilight, fire, and lightning, Xolotl's role as a guide to the underworld reveals a fascinating duality. He is both a protector and a harbinger of transformation, embodying the Aztecs' complex understanding of life, death, and rebirth. Xolotl's story begins with his close connection to Quetzalcoatl, the Feathered Serpent god. While Quetzalcoatl represents the morning star and the forces of creation, Xolotl is associated with the evening star, symbolizing the transition from light to darkness. This duality makes Xolotl a liminal figure, existing at the threshold between worlds. His role as a guide to the underworld, known as Mictlan, is central to his myth. The Aztecs believed that after death, souls embarked on a perilous journey through Mictlan, a 9-layered realm filled with challenges and trials. Xolotl was the one who accompanied these souls, ensuring their safe passage through the treacherous landscape of the afterlife. But Xolotl's role goes beyond mere guidance. He is also deeply connected to the concept of transformation. In one of the most striking myths, Xolotl plays a crucial part in the creation of the fifth sun, the current era in Aztec cosmology. When the gods gathered to sacrifice themselves to bring forth the new sun, Xolotl was tasked with retrieving the bones of the previous era's inhabitants from the underworld. However, fearing his own death, Xolotl attempted to evade his fate by transforming into various forms, first a maize plant, then a maguey plant, and finally an axolotl, a salamander-like creature. Despite his efforts, he was eventually captured and sacrificed, his death contributing to the creation of the fifth sun. This myth underscores Xolotl's role as a figure of change, embodying the inevitability of transformation and the cyclical nature of existence. The axolotl, the creature Xolotl transformed into, holds special significance in Aztec culture. Known for its ability to regenerate lost limbs, the axolotl became a powerful symbol of renewal and resilience. This connection further cements Xolotl's association with transformation, as he represents the potential for rebirth even in the face of destruction. The Aztecs saw death not as an end but as a transition, a journey guided by Xolotl into a new state of being. Xolotl's dual nature as both a guide and a shapeshifter reflects the Aztecs' belief in the interconnectedness of life and death. He is a reminder that endings are also beginnings, and that transformation is an inherent part of the cosmic order. His presence in Aztec mythology serves as a bridge between the realms of the living and the dead, offering comfort to those who feared the unknown and reinforcing the idea that death is not to be feared but embraced as a natural part of existence. As we explore the myth of Xolotl, we uncover a narrative that intertwines the themes of guidance, transformation, and the cyclical nature of life. His story invites us to reflect on the inevitability of change and the resilience required to navigate the transitions we all face. And as we continue to unravel the mysteries of the Aztec gods, we'll find even more tales that illuminate their profound understanding of the universe, a universe where death is not an end but a doorway to new beginnings. Now, as we journey from the shadowy underworld guided by Xolotl, we ascend into the radiant realm of Tonatiuh, the sun god, whose fiery presence illuminates the Aztec cosmos. Tonatiuh, whose name means "he who goes forth shining," is central to the myth of the fifth sun, the current era in Aztec cosmology. This myth not only explains the origins of the world as we know it, but also reveals the profound sacrifices required to sustain it. According to Aztec belief, the universe has undergone 5 cycles of creation and destruction, each marked by a different sun. The fifth sun, Tonatiuh's era, was born from the self-sacrifice of the gods at Teotihuacan. In this pivotal myth, the gods gathered to decide who would take on the immense responsibility of becoming the new sun. 2 gods stepped forward: Tezcatlipoca, a proud and wealthy deity, and Nanahuatzin, a humble and diseased god. Despite his lowly status, Nanahuatzin was chosen to leap into the sacred fire, transforming into the radiant Tonatiuh. Tezcatlipoca, initially hesitant, eventually followed, becoming the moon. Together, they rose into the sky, marking the dawn of the fifth sun. But the creation of the fifth sun was only the beginning. Tonatiuh's journey across the sky required constant nourishment to ensure the sun's movement and the continuation of life on Earth. The Aztecs believed that without regular offerings, the sun would cease its journey, plunging the world into eternal darkness. This belief led to the practice of human sacrifice, seen as a sacred duty to sustain the cosmic order. Warriors captured in battle, often referred to as flower wars, were considered the most honorable offerings, their blood and hearts believed to provide the energy Tonatiuh needed to rise each day. The myth of Tonatiuh also highlights the Aztecs' deep connection to the cycles of nature. The sun's daily journey across the sky symbolized the eternal struggle between light and darkness, life and death. Tonatiuh's role as the sustainer of life was not just a divine duty but a reflection of the delicate balance that governed the universe. The sacrifices made in his honor were not acts of cruelty but acts of necessity, ensuring the survival of both the physical and spiritual worlds. Tonatiuh's image is often depicted in Aztec art as a fierce, radiant figure, his face surrounded by rays of light and adorned with symbols of power. These depictions serve as a reminder of his vital role in the cosmos and the sacrifices required to maintain it. The Aztecs saw Tonatiuh not just as a distant deity but as an active participant in the daily lives of humanity. His presence felt in the warmth of the sun and the cycles of the seasons. As we reflect on the myth of Tonatiuh, we are reminded of the Aztecs' profound understanding of the interconnectedness of all things. The sun's journey across the sky was not just a celestial event, but a testament to the sacrifices made to sustain life itself. Tonatiuh's story invites us to consider the delicate balance that governs our own world and the responsibilities we bear to maintain it. And as we continue to explore the mysteries of the Aztec gods, we uncover even deeper layers of meaning, each tale shedding light on the intricate tapestry of their beliefs and the enduring legacy of their mythology. Now, as we turn our gaze from the blazing sun to the cool, silvery light of the moon, we encounter the myth of Quetzalcoatl, the moon goddess, whose story is one of cosmic conflict and transformation. Quetzalcoatl, whose name means "she of the golden bells," is a central figure in Aztec mythology, embodying the moon's ethereal beauty and its cyclical nature. Her tale is not just one of celestial drama, but also a profound reflection of the Aztecs' understanding of balance, power, and renewal. The myth begins with Quetzalcoatl and her 400 brothers, the Senson Huitzilopochtli, who plot against their mother, Tlaloc, the earth goddess. Tlaloc, already a mother to many, becomes pregnant once more, this time through a miraculous conception involving a ball of feathers. Enraged by this unexpected pregnancy, Quetzalcoatl incites her brothers to join her in a rebellion, determined to kill their mother and restore what they see as the family's honor. However, their plans are thwarted by the unborn child within Tlaloc's womb, Huitzilopochtli, the god of war and the sun. Huitzilopochtli, born fully armed and ready for battle, emerges to defend his mother. In a fierce confrontation, he defeats Quetzalcoatl and her brothers, dismembering her body and casting it down the sacred mountain of Coatepec. Her head is said to have become the moon, while her limbs scattered across the sky, symbolizing the fragmented light of the stars. This act of dismemberment is not merely a violent end but a transformation, as Quetzalcoatl's body becomes part of the celestial landscape, forever marking the night sky. The symbolism of Quetzalcoatl's dismemberment is deeply tied to the lunar cycles. Just as the moon waxes and wanes, Quetzalcoatl's story reflects themes of destruction and renewal. Her fragmented body mirrors the moon's phases, from the full moon's radiant glow to the dark new moon, when it seems to disappear entirely. This cyclical process was seen by the Aztecs as a metaphor for the eternal struggle between order and chaos, light and darkness, life and death. Quetzalcoatl's story reminds us that even in destruction, there is the potential for rebirth and transformation. Quetzalcoatl's image is often depicted in Aztec art as a dismembered figure, her body adorned with bells and symbols of the moon. These representations serve as a powerful reminder of her role in the cosmic order and the sacrifices made to maintain it. The Aztecs saw her not just as a defeated goddess but as a vital part of the natural world, her story woven into the fabric of their daily lives and rituals. As we reflect on the myth of Quetzalcoatl, we are reminded of the Aztecs' profound connection to the cycles of nature and the delicate balance that governs the universe. Her story invites us to consider the ways in which destruction and renewal are intertwined, shaping the world around us. And as we continue to explore the mysteries of the Aztec gods, we uncover even deeper layers of meaning, each tale shedding light on the intricate tapestry of their beliefs and the enduring legacy of their mythology. Now, as we shift our focus from the celestial drama of Quetzalcoatl to the very essence of creation itself, we encounter the enigmatic figure of Omteotl, the dual god who embodies the fundamental balance of the universe. Omteotl, whose name translates to "two god," represents the concept of duality that lies at the heart of Aztec cosmology. This deity is not just a single entity but a harmonious union of opposites, blending masculine and feminine, light and dark, life and death into one divine force. Omteotl is often depicted as both Omtecutli, the lord of duality, and Omsehuatl, the lady of duality, symbolizing the inseparable nature of these opposing forces. Together, they reside in Omeokon, the highest level of the Aztec cosmos, a realm of perfect balance and infinite potential. From this sacred space, Omteotl oversees the creation and sustenance of all life, ensuring that the universe remains in harmony. The Aztecs believed that duality was not just a philosophical concept but a fundamental truth of existence. Everything in the world was seen as a reflection of this balance: day and night, fire and water, growth and decay. Omteotl's role as the dual creator underscores the idea that creation itself is a dynamic interplay of opposites, each necessary for the other to exist. Without darkness, there can be no light. Without death, there can be no life. This belief in duality extended beyond the natural world and into the spiritual realm. The Aztecs saw Omteotl as the source of all other gods, the primordial force from which the pantheon emerged. Even the most powerful deities like Quetzalcoatl and Tezcatlipoca were seen as manifestations of Omteotl's dual nature, each embodying different aspects of creation and destruction. This interconnectedness reinforced the idea that all things, no matter how seemingly opposed, are part of a greater whole. Ometeotl's influence is also evident in the Aztec understanding of time and space. The universe was believed to be cyclical, with periods of creation and destruction repeating endlessly. Ometeotl's dual nature ensured that each cycle was balanced, with destruction paving the way for renewal and rebirth. This cyclical view of time was deeply tied to the Aztec calendar and their rituals, which sought to maintain the delicate equilibrium of the cosmos. The myth of Ometeotl invites us to reflect on the profound wisdom of the Aztecs, who saw duality not as a conflict but as a necessary harmony. Their understanding of the universe as a balance of opposites offers a timeless perspective on the interconnectedness of all things. As we continue to explore the mysteries of the Aztec gods, we uncover not just stories of divine power, but also profound insights into the nature of existence itself. And with that, we turn to the next chapter of our journey, where the primordial earth monster, Tezcatlipoca, awaits to reveal its role in the creation of the world. Now, as we delve deeper into the Aztec creation myths, we encounter Tezcatlipoca, the primordial earth monster, a creature of chaos and creation that played a pivotal role in shaping the world as the Aztecs knew it. Tezcatlipoca, often depicted as a massive, crocodile-like beast with gaping jaws and multiple mouths across its body, represents the raw, untamed forces of nature. This monstrous being was said to inhabit the primordial waters before the world existed, embodying the chaos that preceded order. According to the myth, the gods Quetzalcoatl and Tezcatlipoca, recognizing the need to bring structure to the universe, confronted Tezcatlipoca. They transformed themselves into giant serpents and wrestled the monstrous creature, tearing its body apart to form the earth and sky. Tezcatlipoca's dismembered body became the foundation of the world, with its flesh forming the land, its bones the mountains, and its blood the rivers and lakes. This act of creation was not without sacrifice, as Tezcatlipoca's destruction symbolized the necessary transition from chaos to order. The myth of Tezcatlipoca is rich with symbolism, reflecting the Aztec understanding of the delicate balance between chaos and order. Tezcatlipoca's chaotic nature represents the unpredictable and destructive forces of the natural world, while its transformation into the earth highlights the god's ability to impose structure and harmony. This duality mirrors the broader Aztec worldview, where creation and destruction are seen as interconnected processes, each essential for the other to exist. Tezcatlipoca's story also underscores the importance of sacrifice in Aztec cosmology. Just as the gods sacrificed Tezcatlipoca to create the world, the Aztecs believed that maintaining cosmic order required ongoing sacrifices. This belief was deeply embedded in their rituals and daily life, as they sought to appease the gods and ensure the continued stability of the universe. The myth of Tezcatlipoca invites us to reflect on the Aztec perspective of creation as a dynamic interplay of chaos and order. It reminds us that the world we inhabit is built upon the remnants of a primordial struggle, a testament to the enduring power of transformation and renewal. As we move forward in our exploration of Aztec mythology, we'll uncover how these themes of creation and sacrifice continue to shape the stories of their gods and the world they inhabit. Next, we'll turn our attention to Ixtlaton, the god of healing, and his role in maintaining the well-being of the Aztec people. Shifting our focus from the chaotic origins of the world, we now turn to a figure who embodies the Aztec pursuit of balance and well-being, Ixtlaton, the god of healing and medicine. Known as the Little Black One, Ixtlaton was revered as a protector of children and a bringer of health, offering a stark contrast to the destructive forces we've explored so far. His name, which translates to the Black-Faced One, is thought to reference the dark, medicinal herbs and potions used in healing rituals, symbolizing his deep connection to the natural world and its restorative powers. Ixtlaton's role in Aztec mythology was deeply intertwined with the health and vitality of the community, particularly its youngest members. He was often depicted as a benevolent figure, overseeing ceremonies aimed at curing illnesses and ensuring the well-being of children. One of the most fascinating aspects of his worship was the use of small, black-painted jars filled with water. These jars, placed in Ixtlatemon's temples, were believed to hold healing properties. Parents would bring their sick children to these temples, offering prayers and rituals in hopes of invoking the god's favor. If the child recovered, it was seen as a sign of Ixtlatemon's blessing, and the family would celebrate with feasts and offerings in his honor. The myth of Ixtlaton reflects the Aztec understanding of health as a holistic concept, where physical well-being was deeply connected to spiritual harmony. Healing was not just about treating the body, but also about restoring balance between the individual and the divine. This belief is evident in the rituals dedicated to Ixtlaton, which often involved purification ceremonies, the use of medicinal plants, and offerings to appease the gods. The Aztecs saw illness as a disruption of this balance, and Ixtlaton's role was to realign the forces of the body and spirit. What makes Ixtlaton particularly intriguing is his association with children, highlighting the Aztec emphasis on the future and the importance of nurturing the next generation. In a society where survival was often precarious, ensuring the health of children was not just a personal concern but a communal responsibility. Ixtlaton's presence in Aztec life served as a reminder of the fragility of life and the need for constant care and vigilance. As we explore the myth of Ixtlaton, we gain insight into the Aztec approach to health and healing, a system that blended practical knowledge of medicine with profound spiritual beliefs. His story invites us to consider how ancient cultures understood the interconnectedness of body, mind, and spirit, and how these ideas continue to resonate in modern practices of wellness. Next, we'll delve into the myth of Tezcatlipoca, the god of medicine and pulque, and his role in Aztec healing rituals, further unraveling the intricate relationship between health, spirituality, and the divine. Now, let's step into the world of Tezcatlipoca, the god of medicine and pulque, whose story weaves together the realms of healing, intoxication, and spirituality. Known as the Lord of the Root of Medicine, Tezcatlipoca was revered not only for his knowledge of medicinal plants but also for his association with pulque, a fermented drink made from the maguey plant. This dual role makes him one of the most fascinating figures in Aztec mythology, as he bridges the gap between physical healing and spiritual enlightenment. Tezcatlipoca's connection to medicine is deeply rooted in the Aztec understanding of the natural world. He was believed to have discovered the healing properties of various plants, which were used to treat ailments ranging from fevers to wounds. These remedies were often administered alongside rituals that invoked Tezcatlipoca's blessings, emphasizing the belief that healing was as much a spiritual process as it was a physical one. His knowledge of medicinal herbs was seen as a divine gift, and his teachings were passed down through generations, forming the foundation of Aztec medical practices. But Tezcatlipoca's role extended beyond the realm of medicine. He was also closely tied to pulque, a sacred beverage that played a central role in Aztec rituals and daily life. Pulque was more than just a drink. It was a symbol of fertility, abundance, and spiritual connection. In moderation, it was believed to open the mind to divine visions and facilitate communication with the gods. However, excessive consumption was seen as a disruption of balance, reflecting the Aztec belief in moderation and harmony. The connection between intoxication and spiritual healing is one of the most intriguing aspects of Tezcatlipoca's myth. In Aztec culture, pulque was often used in healing ceremonies to induce altered states of consciousness, allowing individuals to connect with the divine and gain insights into their ailments. This practice highlights the Aztec view of illness as not just a physical condition but also a spiritual imbalance. By consuming pulque under the guidance of priests, patients sought to realign their spirits and restore harmony within themselves. Tezcatlipoca's story also sheds light on the Aztec approach to duality, a recurring theme in their mythology. As both a healer and a figure associated with intoxication, he embodies the delicate balance between order and chaos, sobriety and ecstasy. His myths remind us that healing is a multifaceted process, requiring not only physical remedies but also spiritual introspection and connection to the divine. As we reflect on Tezcatlipoca's role in Aztec culture, we see how his story offers a unique perspective on the relationship between medicine, spirituality, and the natural world. His legacy invites us to consider the ways in which ancient practices continue to influence modern understandings of health and healing. Next, we'll explore the myth of Tlaloc, the goddess of purification and sin, and her role in cleansing the soul, further unraveling the intricate tapestry of Aztec spirituality. Now, let's turn our attention to Tlaloc, the enigmatic goddess of purification and sin, whose story reveals the Aztec understanding of moral complexity and spiritual renewal. Known as the Eater of Filth, Tlaloc held a unique place in Aztec mythology, embodying both the causes of human failings and the means to overcome them. Her dual nature as a figure of sin and redemption offers a profound insight into the Aztec worldview, where moral imperfections were not seen as irredeemable but as opportunities for transformation. Tlaloc role as the goddess of sin might seem contradictory at first, but it reflects a deep understanding of human nature. She was believed to inspire immoral desires and actions, yet she also provided the means to cleanse oneself of these transgressions. This duality made her a complex and compassionate figure, one who understood the flaws of humanity and offered a path to spiritual purification. Her presence in Aztec rituals was a reminder that sin was not the end but a step in the journey toward moral and spiritual growth. Central to Tlaloc myth is the concept of confession, a practice that played a vital role in Aztec spirituality. Individuals who sought to cleanse their souls would confess their sins to a priest who acted as an intermediary between the penitent and the goddess. This act of confession was not just about admitting wrongdoing, but also about seeking guidance and forgiveness. Tlaloc was believed to absorb the moral filth of the confessed sins, purifying the individual and restoring their spiritual balance. This process highlights the Aztec belief in the possibility of redemption and the importance of taking responsibility for one's actions. The rituals associated with Tlaloc often involved symbolic acts of purification, such as sweeping or washing, which represented the removal of sin and the renewal of the spirit. These practices were not just physical acts but deeply spiritual ones, emphasizing the connection between the body and the soul. By participating in these rituals, individuals sought to align themselves with the divine order and reaffirm their commitment to living a virtuous life. Tlaloc dual nature also reflects the broader Aztec theme of duality, which appears throughout their mythology. She embodies the tension between sin and purity, chaos and order, destruction and renewal. Her myths remind us that life is a balance of opposing forces, and that true harmony comes from acknowledging and integrating these contradictions. In this way, Tlaloc story is not just about moral purification, but also about the ongoing struggle to find balance within oneself and the world. As we explore Tlaloc role in Aztec spirituality, we gain a deeper appreciation for the complexity of their moral and religious beliefs. Her story challenges us to consider the ways in which sin and redemption are intertwined and how the process of purification can lead to personal and spiritual growth. Next, we'll delve into the myth of Quetzalcoatl, the god of merchants and travelers, and his role in guiding trade and exploration, further uncovering the rich tapestry of Aztec mythology. Now, shifting our focus to the bustling world of trade and travel, we encounter Quetzalcoatl, the revered god of merchants and travelers. Known as the Lord of the Nose, Quetzalcoatl was a central figure in Aztec mythology, embodying the spirit of commerce and the journeys that connected distant lands. His myths highlight the vital role that trade played in Aztec society, not just as an economic activity but as a cultural and spiritual endeavor. Quetzalcoatl's association with merchants was deeply symbolic. Merchants in Aztec society were more than just traders. They were explorers, diplomats, and storytellers who brought back not only goods but also knowledge, news, and cultural exchange from far-off regions. Tezcatlipoca was believed to guide these merchants on their perilous journeys, offering protection and ensuring their safe return. His image often featured a staff adorned with feathers and other ornaments, which merchants would carry as a symbol of their devotion and a plea for his blessings. The rituals dedicated to Tezcatlipoca were as practical as they were spiritual. Before embarking on a journey, merchants would gather to honor him, offering incense, food, and sometimes even small sacrifices. These ceremonies were not just about seeking divine favor, but also about fostering a sense of community among the traders. By sharing in these rituals, merchants reinforced their bonds and prepared themselves for the challenges ahead. Tezcatlipoca's presence in these rites underscored the belief that commerce was a sacred act, one that required both courage and divine support. Tezcatlipoca's role extended beyond physical journeys. He was also seen as a guide for the soul's journey, a reminder that life itself is a path filled with risks and rewards. This dual symbolism made him a figure of both practical and philosophical importance. His myths encouraged individuals to approach their endeavors with a sense of purpose and humility, recognizing that success often depended on both personal effort and the favor of the gods. The importance of Tezcatlipoca in Aztec society reflects the broader significance of trade in their civilization. Commerce was not just a means of acquiring wealth, but a way of connecting different peoples and cultures. Through trade, the Aztecs gained access to exotic goods, new ideas, and alliances that strengthened their empire. Tezcatlipoca's myths remind us that the exchange of goods and knowledge is a powerful force, one that shapes societies and bridges divides. As we explore Tezcatlipoca's story, we gain a deeper understanding of how the Aztecs viewed commerce as both a practical necessity and a spiritual journey. His legacy invites us to consider the ways in which trade and travel continue to shape our world today. Next, we'll uncover the myth of Tezcatlipoca, the goddess of maize and sustenance, and her connection to fertility and the cycles of life, further revealing the intricate web of Aztec beliefs. Turning now to the heart of Aztec agriculture and survival, we meet Tezcatlipoca, the goddess of maize and sustenance. Known as Feathered Serpent, Tezcatlipoca was a vital figure in Aztec mythology, embodying the life-giving power of corn, which was the cornerstone of Aztec civilization. Her myths and rituals reveal how deeply intertwined food, fertility, and spirituality were in the Aztec worldview. Tezcatlipoca was not just a symbol of abundance, she was the very essence of life itself. Maize or corn was more than a staple crop for the Aztecs, it was a sacred gift from the gods, a source of nourishment that sustained both body and spirit. Tezcatlipoca's image often depicted her holding ears of corn or adorned with maize stalks, emphasizing her role as the provider of this essential resource. Her presence in Aztec life was a constant reminder of the delicate balance between human effort and divine favor in ensuring a bountiful harvest. The rituals dedicated to Tezcatlipoca were deeply rooted in the agricultural calendar, reflecting the cyclical nature of planting, growth, and harvest. During the festival of Huitzilopochtli, held at the height of the planting season, the Aztecs would honor Tezcatlipoca with elaborate ceremonies. These rituals included offerings of maize, flowers, and even small figurines made of dough, symbolizing the hope for a fruitful harvest. Dancers and musicians would perform in her honor, their movements and songs echoing the rhythms of nature and the cycles of life. One of the most striking aspects of Tezcatlipoca's worship was the practice of offering young girls as her living representations. These girls, dressed in the goddess's likeness, would participate in the ceremonies, embodying Tezcatlipoca's spirit and blessing the community with her presence. At the end of the festival, they would be returned to their families, their role as temporary vessels of the goddess complete. This ritual highlighted the Aztecs' belief in the interconnectedness of human life and the divine, as well as their reverence for the forces that sustain them. Chicomacoatl's connection to fertility extended beyond agriculture. She was also seen as a protector of women and children, ensuring their health and well-being. Her myths often portrayed her as a nurturing figure, one who provided not only food but also the strength and vitality needed to thrive. This dual role made her a beloved and essential deity in Aztec society, one whose influence touched every aspect of daily life. The story of Chicomacoatl offers a profound insight into the Aztec understanding of the natural world. Her myths remind us that sustenance is not just a matter of physical nourishment, but also a spiritual and communal endeavor. Through her rituals, the Aztecs expressed their gratitude for the earth's bounty and their recognition of the delicate balance required to maintain it. As we reflect on Chicomacoatl's legacy, we are reminded of the enduring importance of agriculture and the sacred connection between humanity and the land. Next, we'll explore the myth of Huitzilopochtli, the trickster god, whose playful yet profound stories reveal the lighter side of Aztec mythology and the lessons hidden within his mischief. Now, let's shift our focus to a figure who brings a touch of unpredictability and humor to Aztec mythology, Huitzilopochtli, the trickster god. Known as the Old Coyote, Huitzilopochtli is a fascinating character whose stories are filled with mischief, chaos, and unexpected wisdom. Unlike many of the more serious deities in the Aztec pantheon, Huitzilopochtli's tales often carry a playful tone, yet they are deeply layered with lessons about human nature and the world around us. Huitzilopochtli's role as a trickster is central to his identity. He thrives on creating disorder, often leading others into trouble or confusion through his clever schemes. But his mischief is never without purpose. Through his antics, Huitzilopochtli exposes the flaws, hypocrisies, and vulnerabilities of both gods and humans. His stories serve as a mirror, reflecting the complexities of life and the consequences of our actions. In one famous myth, Huitzilopochtli tricks a group of gods into throwing a lavish feast, only to turn the event into chaos by inciting jealousy and rivalry among them. The resulting turmoil reveals the fragile nature of relationships and the dangers of unchecked ambition. Despite his reputation as a troublemaker, Huitzilopochtli is not purely malevolent. His chaos often leads to growth and transformation. By disrupting the status quo, he forces individuals and communities to confront uncomfortable truths and adapt to new realities. In this way, Huitzilopochtli embodies the idea that sometimes disruption is necessary for progress. His myths remind us that life is not always straightforward, and that challenges, though difficult, can lead to valuable insights and personal growth. Huitzilopochtli's connection to music and dance further highlights his dual nature. As a patron of the arts, he is associated with creativity, spontaneity, and celebration. His influence can be seen in the lively festivals and rituals dedicated to him, where music and dance were used to honor his spirit. These celebrations were not just about revelry, they were also a way to channel the unpredictable energy of the trickster god into something positive and communal. Through art, the Aztecs found a way to embrace the chaos Huitzilopochtli represented, transforming it into a source of joy and connection. One of the most intriguing aspects of Huitzilopochtli's myths is their timeless relevance. His stories explore themes of balance, adaptability, and the importance of questioning authority, ideas that resonate across cultures and eras. By weaving humor and mischief into his tales, the Aztecs created a deity who was both entertaining and thought-provoking. Huitzilopochtli's legacy challenges us to embrace the unexpected, to find wisdom in chaos, and to recognize that even the most disruptive forces can lead to growth and renewal. As we move forward, we'll delve into the myth of Tezcatlipoca, the god of fire and time, whose role in maintaining cosmic order offers a striking contrast to Huitzilopochtli's playful chaos. Stay with us as we uncover the fiery heart of Aztec spirituality. Now, let's turn our attention to a deity whose presence was as essential as it was awe-inspiring: Tezcatlipoca, the god of fire and time. Known as the Turquoise Lord, Tezcatlipoca held a central place in Aztec spirituality, embodying the dual forces of creation and destruction. Fire, in Aztec belief, was not just a physical element but a sacred force that sustained life, purified the soul, and connected the earthly realm to the divine. Tezcatlipoca's role as the guardian of this powerful element made him a figure of immense reverence and fear. At the heart of Tezcatlipoca's myth is his responsibility for maintaining cosmic order. The Aztecs believed that fire was the lifeblood of the universe, a force that kept the world in balance. Without it, chaos would reign and the cycles of time would collapse. Tezcatlipoca's connection to time further emphasized his importance. He was seen as the keeper of the eternal flame, a symbol of continuity and renewal. Every new fire lit in Aztec rituals was a reenactment of the primordial fire that ignited the universe, a reminder of the gods' enduring presence and power. Fire played a central role in Aztec ceremonies, often serving as a bridge between the human and divine realms. Rituals dedicated to Tezcatlipoca involved offerings of food, flowers, and even precious objects, all consumed by flames as a way to communicate with the god. These acts of sacrifice were not merely symbolic, they were believed to nourish Tezcatlipoca and ensure his continued protection. The Aztecs also practiced the new fire ceremony, a grand ritual held every 52 years to mark the end of one calendar cycle and the beginning of another. During this event, all fires in the empire were extinguished and a new flame was kindled, symbolizing the renewal of time and the rekindling of life itself. The symbolism of fire in Aztec culture extended beyond its physical properties. It represented transformation, purification, and the cyclical nature of existence. Just as fire consumes and transforms, so too did the Aztecs believe in the transformative power of sacrifice and devotion. Tezcatlipoca's myths often highlight this duality, fire as both a destructive and creative force. In one tale, Tezcatlipoca descends into the underworld to retrieve the sacred flame, facing trials that test his resolve and wisdom. His journey underscores the idea that true renewal often requires confronting darkness and emerging stronger. Tezcatlipoca's influence was not limited to grand rituals, it permeated everyday life as well. Household hearths were considered sacred spaces, and the act of cooking was seen as a form of communion with the god. Even the warmth of a fire on a cold night was viewed as a gift from Tezcatlipoca, a reminder of his ever-present care. This deep connection between the divine and the mundane highlights the Aztecs' profound respect for the natural world and their belief in the interconnectedness of all things. As we explore the next myth, we'll delve into the story of Tlaloc, the storm goddess, whose tempestuous nature reflects the Aztecs' awe and fear of the natural world. Stay with us as we uncover the power and mystery of the forces that shaped their universe. Now, let's shift our focus to the tempestuous realm of Tlaloc, the storm goddess, whose myths reveal the Aztecs' deep reverence and fear of nature's uncontrollable forces. Known as the Lady of the Waves, Tlaloc was both a bringer of life-giving rains and a harbinger of destruction. Her dual nature embodied the Aztecs' understanding of the natural world as a place of balance where creation and chaos were inextricably linked. Tlaloc myths often depict her as a fierce and unpredictable deity, capable of unleashing hurricanes and torrential storms with a single breath. These natural disasters were seen not as random events but as expressions of her divine will. The Aztecs believed that Tlaloc storms were a form of communication, a way for the gods to remind humanity of their power and the fragility of human existence. In one myth, Tlaloc descends from the heavens during a great drought, her arrival marked by thunder and lightning. She brings rain to nourish the crops but also unleashes floods that devastate the land, illustrating the duality of her gifts. The Aztecs' relationship with Tlaloc was one of both devotion and fear. Rituals dedicated to her often involved offerings of food, flowers, and even small animals, meant to appease her volatile nature. Fishermen and sailors, in particular, sought her favor before setting out on the waters, praying for calm seas and safe passage. Yet, they also understood that storms could strike without warning, a reminder of the limits of human control over the natural world. This duality made Tlaloc a figure of immense respect, as her power was both life-sustaining and life-threatening. Tlaloc connection to natural disasters also reflects the Aztecs' broader worldview, which emphasized the cyclical nature of existence. Just as storms could destroy, they could also cleanse and renew, preparing the earth for new growth. This belief is echoed in the myth of the five suns, where each era of creation ends in destruction, paving the way for rebirth. Tlaloc storms were seen as part of this cosmic cycle, a necessary force that maintained the balance of the universe. Her myths also highlight the Aztecs' understanding of the interconnectedness of all things. Tlaloc storms were not isolated events but part of a larger system that included the sun, the earth, and the waters. This holistic view of nature shaped their rituals and daily lives as they sought to live in harmony with the forces that governed their world. Even in the face of destruction, the Aztecs found meaning and purpose, believing that every storm carried the potential for renewal. As we move forward, we'll explore the final myth in our journey, the enigmatic story of Huitzilopochtli, the left-handed god of fishing and hunting. Stay with us as we uncover how this unique deity reflects the Aztecs' intimate relationship with the natural world and their ingenuity in navigating its challenges. Now, let's turn our attention to the intriguing figure of Huitzilopochtli, the left-handed god of fishing and hunting. Unlike many other Aztec deities, Huitzilopochtli's unique characteristic, his left-handedness, sets him apart and offers a fascinating glimpse into the Aztecs' deep connection with the natural world. In Aztec culture, left-handedness was often associated with creativity, adaptability, and a different way of perceiving the world. Huitzilopochtli embodied these traits, serving as a symbol of ingenuity and resourcefulness in the face of nature's challenges. Huitzilopochtli was revered as the patron of fishermen and hunters, two groups whose survival depended on their ability to navigate and thrive within the natural environment. His myths often depict him as a skilled and cunning figure, using his left-handedness to his advantage. For example, in one story, Huitzilopochtli invents a special fishing net that allows fishermen to catch more fish with less effort. This invention not only highlights his creativity, but also underscores the Aztecs' respect for innovation and their reliance on the tools and techniques that enabled them to live in harmony with their surroundings. The left-handedness of Huitzilopochtli also carries symbolic weight. In Aztec cosmology, the left side was often linked to the underworld, the moon, and the feminine elements that represented intuition, mystery, and the unseen forces of nature. By embodying these qualities, Huitzilopochtli served as a bridge between the human and natural worlds, reminding the Aztecs of the importance of balance and adaptability. His myths emphasize that success in hunting and fishing required not just physical skill, but also a deep understanding of the rhythms and cycles of nature. Rituals dedicated to Huitzilopochtli often involved offerings of fish, game, and other symbols of abundance, reflecting the Aztecs' gratitude for the resources provided by the natural world. These ceremonies also served as a reminder of the delicate relationship between humans and nature, where taking too much could disrupt the balance and lead to scarcity. Huitzilopochtli's stories encourage the Aztecs to approach their environment with respect and mindfulness, recognizing that their survival depended on their ability to coexist with the forces that sustained them. Huitzilopochtli's myths also reveal the Aztecs' appreciation for the diversity of skills and perspectives within their society. Just as Huitzilopochtli's left-handedness allowed him to see and solve problems in unique ways, the Aztecs valued the contributions of individuals who brought different talents and viewpoints to their communities. This inclusivity was essential for their survival, as it enabled them to adapt to the ever-changing challenges of their environment. As we conclude our exploration of these 30 myths, it's clear that the Aztec gods were more than just figures of worship. They were reflections of the Aztecs' worldview, their struggles and their triumphs. Each myth, from the tempestuous storms of Tlaloc to the inventive spirit of Huitzilopochtli, offers a window into a culture that found meaning and purpose in the natural world. These stories remind us of the enduring power of myth to connect us to the past and inspire us to see the world in new and profound ways. As we wrap up our journey through these 30 captivating myths, it's impossible not to be struck by the depth and complexity of Aztec mythology. Each story, from the prophetic return of Quetzalcoatl to the inventive spirit of Huitzilopochtli, reveals a culture deeply intertwined with the natural world, the cosmos, and the mysteries of existence. These myths were not just tales to entertain, they were the foundation of the Aztecs' understanding of life, death, and the forces that shaped their world. They remind us that mythology is more than just stories. It's a reflection of human curiosity, creativity, and the eternal quest for meaning. What makes these myths so enduring is their ability to resonate across time and cultures. Whether it's the cyclical destruction and rebirth of the world in the Five Suns myth, or the duality of creation and destruction embodied by gods like Tezcatlipoca, these stories speak to universal themes that continue to captivate us today. They challenge us to think about our place in the universe, our relationship with nature, and the mysteries that still defy explanation. But the Aztec myths also offer a unique window into a civilization that thrived in the face of immense challenges. Through their gods, the Aztecs explored the complexities of human emotion, the balance of power, and the delicate harmony between life and death. These stories were a way for them to make sense of the unpredictable forces around them, from the fury of storms to the life-giving power of rain. And in doing so, they left behind a legacy that continues to inspire and intrigue us. So, what do you think about these myths? Do they challenge your understanding of ancient cultures, or do they spark new questions about the mysteries of the past? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts and interpretations. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into Aztec mythology, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on more historical mysteries. Thanks for joining us on this journey through the myths that shaped one of history's most fascinating civilizations. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep uncovering the stories that connect us to the past.